Most people recognize Jim Parsons from CBS's Big Bang Theory as the supremely intelligent yet stubbornly childish Sheldon Cooper. But if you think that he's anything like his nerdy on-screen persona, then think again. You might be surprised that Parsons has never seen an episode of Star Trek or Doctor Who, even though those are two of Sheldon's favorites. Parsons is far from the dorky, brooding goofball he played on TV. His personal life is rich with intricacy, complexity, and even a bit of mystery. More than just being a primary cast member, Parsons was the glue that held everything together for the Big Bang Theory. So much so that when he called it quits after season 12, the show itself followed suit and bowed out. But why did he make that fateful decision to leave the show when he did? Apparently, the circumstances surrounding his departure from the show were rather dark and intense. Find out the revealing truth about why Jim Parsons fell out of love with the show that turned him into a household name by watching this whole video. Factsverse presents Why Jim Parsons Quit the Big Bang Theory. Before we unravel that particular mystery, we're going to take a closer look at the life of Jim Parsons and uncover some little-known facts about one of television's most recognizable faces. Find out why Jim has never done American Horror Story despite being close buddies with Ryan Murphy, the horror series creator. Discover the heartbreaking secret that Parsons kept for years in fear that it would bring bad publicity to him and the show he was so loyal to. But first, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon to turn on notifications so you never have to miss another one of our facts-filled videos. Jim Parsons appeared in 15 pilots before starring on The Big Bang Theory. Sure, you might know him as Sheldon Cooper, but Jim Parsons fought really hard to land the role that now seems so synonymous with his name. He wasn't just instantaneously successful. In fact, he wouldn't join the Big Bang cast until he was 33. Before that, he was working really hard to get his name out there. Leading up to landing the Big Bang part that would change his life forever, he had been a part of 15 failed pilots that never got off the ground. In fact, the same year as the Sheldon audition, he had tried out for several other shows and was turned away. Just goes to show you perseverance pays off in the end. Jim misses Simon Helberg the most. Sheldon Cooper wasn't quite what you'd call a social butterfly, but he still managed to befriend Leonard. The two were best friends in every sense of the word. Sheldon was also really cozy with Penny. In the real world, Jim was actually friends with Kaley Cuoco and Johnny Galecki, the actors who played those two respective roles. What might come as a surprise, though, is who Jim says he'll miss the most now that the show has come to a close. On screen, Sheldon and Howard always seemed to be at odds with each other. Sheldon didn't think that Howard was a legitimate scientist, but off camera, Simon Helberg and Jim Parsons were quite close. They spent 12 years together and would have deep conversations on a regular basis in each other's dressing rooms. Simply put, they confided in each other in a special way that Parsons says he's going to feel the absence of in a large way as time goes on. Parsons has severe nerve issues. Despite being one of the most famous TV actors of our day, he would have intense bouts of nervousness and anxiety before each taping. Consistently, he would deliver the goods, pumping out unparalleled performances that wowed audiences and stunned producers, but he always had the fear in the back of his mind he would somehow forget all of his lines or otherwise do something equally embarrassing. Even the biggest names on television get a touch of stage fright sometimes. Jim Parsons powered through his, and we never even noticed. His acting teachers didn't think he had what it takes. Parsons received his training at the University of San Diego in their acting program. Despite Jim's passion to perform, the university had their doubts he could actually be a decent actor. Rick Sear from the university recalls Jim had what he called a very specific personality. He worried he might be too one-dimensional despite how uniquely original his persona was. The school was skeptical he could translate his acting ability to things like classic theater, but it looks like those concerns didn't hurt Parsons' career in the least bit. He went on to win 4 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe Award for his role as Sheldon. He was afraid to discuss his sexuality. When the show was just getting its start, Parsons lived with the constant fear that if he were to openly discuss his sexuality, especially his orientation, that he might either bring unwanted publicity to himself or the show. He was loyal to the show and wanted to see it thrive, but he was also afraid of losing his job. He told The Hollywood Reporter recently it was hard for him to come out because when he was younger, the world was far less open. It wasn't exactly as accepting as it is today to people with non-heteronormative orientations. Being gay has changed. It's much easier to be out in this day and age. But that didn't stop the fears of his younger years from creeping into his adult and professional life. Despite his fears, he pushed through. In fact, in 2017, he married his partner, Todd Spiewak. The two had been an item since 2002. In 2013, he and Todd would receive the GLSEN's Most Inspiring Couple Award, much to Parsons' surprise. He responded to the honor by saying he never expected to be viewed as an inspiration just for being in love. Why hasn't he been on American Horror Story? Ryan Murphy is the creator of American Horror Story. He and Jim are actually pretty decent friends. Murphy even cast Parsons in several of his other works in recent years, like the Netflix series Hollywood. When Jim called it quits on The Big Bang Theory, it was actually the Ryan Murphy-produced Broadway show Boys in the Band he was working on simultaneously. Murphy is well known for recasting folks he's previously worked with. So why hasn't he signed Jim up for the show that's now in its 10th season? In an interview with Collider, Jim explained that, quote, whether it was because of Big Bang or not, it had just never come up. He went on to express gratitude for getting to work with the esteemed producer on his other projects, and didn't count out the possibility of popping up on the hell-raising show eventually, but it had just never been a thing he and Murphy had discussed. Parsons learned to play the theremin for the show. Jim is actually a fairly skilled piano player, but there's no other instrument like the theremin. In case you're not familiar, the theremin is an instrument you play without touching. It consists of an antenna and a synthesizer modulation box. The closer you move your hand towards the antenna, the higher the pitch the instrument puts out. Since it's played entirely out of muscle memory, it's one of the more difficult instruments to learn. Despite the steep learning curve, he still figured out how to play it for the show, where Sheldon uses it as a way to distract himself while simultaneously annoying the living heck out of everyone. Bazinga. The term is one of Sheldon's trademark catchphrases. He often yells the exclamation when he successfully lands a prank or accomplishes a goal. The phrase became so popular it began to find its way off of the show and into the real world. The Bazinga bee, or Euglossa bazinga, is an endangered bee variety found in Brazil, and Bazinga reiki is a type of jellyfish. Both species of animals were named after Sheldon's catchphrase. Why did Jim call it quits on The Big Bang Theory? The Big Bang Theory enjoyed surprisingly decent ratings and viewership for all 12 seasons. It was during season 11, however, that Jim started feeling overwhelmed by everything that was on his plate. He was doing Big Bang and also working on Broadway. Then there was a commercial project that he was also involved in. All these elements came to a head, and Parsons soon found himself exhausted. Then tragedy struck. Jim is an ardent animal lover, so when one of his dogs got very ill, had a severe seizure, and had to be put to sleep, he was absolutely devastated. He found himself in a foggy haze of depression. Then things got worse. While he was walking out for a curtain call for Boys in the Band, he slipped and broke his foot. He said it was one of the scariest moments of his life, and he felt as if he was sitting on the edge of a cliff for the following few days. That summer was especially troubling for Jim. He had had his dog since he was 14, so in many ways the passing of his pet felt like the end of an era. Reflecting on his father's death at the young age of 52, Parsons realized that life can be short, and it's what you make of it. So it was through the dark lens of mortality that Jim had a moment of clarity and knew it was time to wrap up his work on the show after 12 long years. There was no falling out, no contractual disputes, nothing like that. It was just his time to move on. When he told the network of his intentions to continue on a different chapter of his life, they made no attempt to keep the show going without him. They made the decision to cancel the show that was still performing well because they knew it wouldn't be the same without him.
Why did he quit? The Big Bang Theory was one of the most popular shows on CBS. The network wanted to renew it for at least another year before Jim left in 2019 after 12 years. He may not have realized the impact his decision would have. He thought the show could continue without him and focus on the other characters. Showrunner Steve Millaro agreed, but the producers didn't. Sheldon's socially inept antics were the primary draw. The network knew the show couldn't live without him, and it ended on May 16, 2019. The rest of the cast feels that the announcement could have been handled better. It was less about the fact that Jim wanted to leave and more about the fact that he didn't let anyone know in advance. Like most things in life, there was more than one reason for his departure. Jim was dealing with grief over losing his dog, as well as a painful leg injury. The primary reason, however, was a desire to try other roles. He told David Tennant's podcast that he was reflecting on his father's death. He was getting close to the age he died and said if he also had 6 years to live, there were other things he wanted to do. The Big Bang Theory gave him plenty of money, but what it didn't afford him was time. He already had a busy schedule while performing on Broadway and doing commercials. He felt he'd done everything he could with Sheldon and wanted to expand his career. What did Jim do next? Sheldon Cooper is the kind of role that can leave an actor like Jim Parsons set for life. As much as he may have wanted to, he couldn't leave him behind when The Big Bang Theory ended. He provided the adult voiceover for the spin-off Young Sheldon. It began September 25, 2017, and examines how the genius physicist grew up. He did get the chance to spread his wings in his career, though. Further roles include films such as The Big Year and The Muppets in 2011, Wish I Was Here in 2014, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile in 2019, and The Boys in the Band in 2020. He even produced Mayim Bialik's sitcom, Call Me Kat. Jim has also found love. He's been married to Todd Spiewak since May of 2017. What did the cast think, and what did they do next? Each member of the cast had a different reaction to the moment they entered a meeting to find out the 12th season would be their last. Johnny Galecki, Johnny, who played Leonard, said he was shocked and blindsided by Jim's decision to leave. He doesn't disagree with his reasonings, but still wishes they would have been given more advance notice. He says he considers the cast a family, and families talk issues out. He's also in the school of thought that the show couldn't have continued without Jim. He wouldn't have wanted it to continue without any of the cast or crew. Johnny moved on to another sitcom, The Conners, after filming ended. He also had his first child with Elena Meyer in December of 2019, but they split in November of 2020. Kaley Cuoco. Kaley played Penny, the one non-nerd in the show. She said the entire cast was shocked and even cried for several hours. She wrote on Instagram about how her heart was split in two after the life-changing ride on the show had ended. She also promised that the last season would be the best one yet. She was worried about what would happen next in her career, but it's continued to thrive thanks to other roles like the 2020 show The Flight Attendant on Max. Kaley married Carl Cook in June of 2018. They split in September of 2021. She then announced her romance with Tom Pelphrey in October of 2022. They had a child, Matilda, in March of 2023. Simon Helberg. Simon, who played Howard, used one word to describe Jim's departure: upsetting. He agrees with Johnny that there should have been more advance notice than a sudden meeting. He also doesn't feel that Jim canceled the show himself. Everyone's contractual run was over, and they just never got asked to renew their contracts. Simon took a break from acting for a bit after The Big Bang Theory ended. He then reappeared in the 2021 film Annette. He married Jocelyn Town in July of 2007. They have a daughter named Adeline and a son named Wilder. Melissa Rauch. Melissa, who played Howard's wife, Bernadette, called the announcement of Jim's departure a vulnerable moment. She saw that his choice to leave was not an easy one for him. It hurt her to see someone she cared about in that position, but she believed he spoke from the heart and understood why he did what he did. That type of positive attitude is what made her character so lovable. The same personality can be used to describe her other character, Abby Stone, on Night Court. She also got the chance to change her voice again, doing voiceover for cartoons like Robot Chicken, Cats and Dogs 3, Paws Unite, Animaniacs, and The Chicken Square. She married Winston Bagel in 2007. They have a daughter named Sadie and a son named Brooks. Kunal Nayyar. Kunal, who played Rauch, could only describe the moment The Big Bang Theory ended with a metaphor. He said a weight had been lifted off his shoulders, but he didn't mean it positively or negatively. What that signified was most likely an opportunity to do new and fresh work. He recently starred in the 2022 Apple TV show Suspicion. He's also appeared in Sweetness in the Belly, Trolls World Tour, Think Like a Dog, and Criminal UK. The man who played the character who could never find love did in real life in December of 2011. That's when he married Neha Kapoor. Mayim Bialik. Mayim Bialik, who played Sheldon's girlfriend Emmy, addressed the show's ending in her blog. She said that she appreciated the cast and crew and wasn't happy about the situation, but wanted to keep bringing joy to viewers. One way she did so was to move on to another sitcom, Call Me Kat. There was another surprising opportunity to entertain viewers that came to her after The Big Bang Theory. She was an interim host of the game show Jeopardy! From May 31st to June 11, 2021. She even earned a nomination in 2023 for an Emmy for Outstanding Host for a Game Show. Mayim also hosts a mental health podcast and has written 2 New York Times #1 bestsellers. She's even a mom with sons Miles and Frederick with ex-husband Michael Stone. How did the show end? Giving a show a proper ending is challenging, especially after sudden changes like a major actor leaving. The pressure was increased even further by the fact that 20 million viewers tuned in to the 2-part finale called The Change Constant and the Stockholm Syndrome. It fortunately didn't disappoint, because it wrapped up all the dangling plot threads. Penny's character arc took her from a shallow, hopeful actress to a mature pharmaceutical sales representative. His Nobel Prize speech wasn't a list of his accomplishments, but a thank you and apology to each of his friends. Howard matured once he married Bernadette. Their children, like his mother, had only existed off-screen, but viewers finally got to see them in the finale. Rauch, the hopeless romantic, ironically has the least romantic finale. He tried to go to London to have an arranged marriage with a woman named Anu, but Howard stopped him at the airport. He helps him realize she wasn't right for him and everything he needed was already in California. The characters spent the show's last few moments sitting around a coffee table eating takeout. The Big Bang Theory began how it ended, with friends enjoying each other's company. And what's more beautiful to watch than that?
Simon Helberg. Simon Helberg, widely recognized for his role as Howard Wolowitz, has continued to showcase his talents after the show's finale. Born December 9, 1980 in Los Angeles, his career in acting and comedy began well before his time on this popular sitcom. But following his success on The Big Bang Theory, he's taken on roles that highlight his range as an actor. He appeared in the critically acclaimed Florence Foster Jenkins alongside Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant, where he played Cosme McMoon, a pianist. His performance in the film was a departure from his sitcom persona and showcased his ability to handle more dramatic and nuanced roles. Helberg also ventured into independent cinema. He starred and co-directed the film We'll Never Have Paris, a romantic comedy based on his real-life engagement story. In addition to acting, he's a talented musician, a skill he often incorporated into his character on The Big Bang Theory. His musical talents have been a part of his other projects as well. Johnny Galecki. Johnny Galecki, aka Leonard Hofstadter, has had a remarkable journey in the world of acting. Born on April 30th, 1975 in Belgium, his acting career spans more than 3 decades, beginning with his debut in the CBS miniseries Murder Ordained in 1987. His early career saw him in various roles, including Rusty Griswold in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and a part in I Know What You Did Last Summer. But his breakthrough was his portrayal of David Healy on Roseanne, and then later The Conners. But The Big Bang Theory catapulted him to international fame, earning him a Primetime Emmy Award nomination and making him one of the highest-paid television actors. After the show, he continued to explore diverse roles. He appeared in films like In Time and Rings, and his return to Roseanne in 2018 and subsequent appearances in The Conners highlighted his enduring appeal in television. His personal life has been as eventful as his career. He dated co-star Sara Gilbert during their time on Roseanne, a relationship that played a big role in his personal journey. He later dated Big Bang Theory co-star Kaley Cuoco, maintaining a good relationship after the breakup. He's also a father, welcoming his son Avery in 2019. Kunal Nayyar. Kunal, known for his portrayal of Rauch in The Big Bang Theory, has continued to make strides in his acting career after the show. Born in London and raised in New Delhi, Nayyar moved to the U.S. to pursue higher education and eventually pivoted to acting. His early career included roles in American TV ads and London stage plays, notably in the West Coast production of Rajiv Joseph's play Huck and Holden. After The Big Bang Theory, his career diversified. He voiced characters in animated movies like Ice Age, Continental Drift, and Trolls. He also appeared in off-Broadway productions such as The Spoils, written by Jesse Eisenberg. In 2020, Nayyar took on a challenging role in the Netflix UK production Criminal UK, portraying a convicted serial killer. He also joined the cast of the thriller series Suspicion on Apple TV alongside Uma Thurman. Nayyar's journey from a business student to a celebrated actor is also chronicled in his book, Yes, My Accent Is Real, and Some Other Things I Haven't Told You, published in 2015. Jim Parsons. Jim, best known for his iconic role as Sheldon Cooper, has continued to flourish in his acting career ever since the show's finale. Born March 24, 1973 in Houston, Texas, his portrayal of the quirky theoretical physicist won him widespread acclaim, including 4 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe. After the conclusion of Big Bang Theory, he's taken on a variety of roles that showcase his range as an actor. He starred in the Netflix movie The Boys in the Band, reprising his role role from the Broadway production, which was a significant departure from his Sheldon Cooper persona. He played a complex, emotionally layered character, demonstrating his versatility. He also lent his voice to the character O in the animated film Home and its subsequent series, Home: Adventures with Tip and O. In addition to his acting work, he's also ventured into production. He served as an executive producer for the Netflix series Special, which focuses on a gay man with mild cerebral palsy. This move into production indicates his interest in exploring diverse stories and characters. Kaley Cuoco. Kaley, who charmed audiences as Penny, has continued to make significant strides in her acting career. Born November 30th, 1985 in Camarillo, California, her journey in the entertainment industry began early on, with notable roles in 8 Simple Rules and Charmed. After The Big Bang Theory, Cuoco has taken on diverse and challenging roles. She starred in and produced the HBO Max comedic thriller The Flight Attendant, showcasing her talent both in front of and behind the camera. Her performance as Cassie Bowden, a flight attendant entangled in a murder mystery, earned her critical acclaim and nominations for Primetime Emmy Awards, Golden Globe Awards, and SAG Awards. She also has lent her voice to the title character in the animated series Harley Quinn. Her portrayal of the iconic DC Comics character has been praised for its depth and humor. She's also been active on the production side. Her production company, Yes Norman Productions, has been involved in developing several projects, indicating her growing influence in the entertainment world. Mayim Bialik. After her standout role as Amy Farrah Fowler, Mayim has continued to diversify her career in both entertainment and in the academic field. She secured the lead role in the Fox sitcom Call Me Kat. It was a role that highlighted her comedic skills and also placed her at the forefront of a major network sitcom again. In addition to her acting career, she embraced a new challenge in the world of game shows. She served as a guest host on Jeopardy following the passing of iconic host Alex Trebek. She's also made her mark as an author and advocate. She's penned several books, including Girling Up: How to Be Strong, Smart, and Spectacular, which dives into the challenges of growing up as a girl. Her commitment to mental health advocacy is also notable. She openly shares her experiences with depression and anxiety, aiming to raise awareness and reduce the stigma surrounding mental health issues. Her academic achievements play a significant role in her life. Holding a PhD in neuroscience from UCLA, she remains actively involved with the scientific community. Melissa Rauch. After The Big Bang Theory, Melissa Rauch, aka Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz, has continued to expand her career in various exciting directions. She starred in, co-wrote, and co-produced the sports comedy drama film The Bronze in 2015. She also lent her voice to the character of Harley Quinn in the 2017 animated film Batman and Harley Quinn. Her other acting credits include roles in I Love You Man, Ice Age, Collision Course, and Flock of Dudes, as well as Ode to Joy and The Laundromat. She's currently starring in the revival of the classic sitcom Night Court, where she plays Judge Abby Stone. The show, which premiered in January of 2023, is co-produced by Rauch and her husband Winston Bagel in association with Warner Brothers and Universal. Kaley Cuoco's secrets. Kaley Cuoco finished her work on Charmed right before joining The Big Bang Theory. The network wanted her to be a part of the spin-off, but she declined. She wanted the work-life balance that came with sitcoms, and she eventually found it with her role as Penny. Kaley had never met Jim Parsons before her audition. She tried to introduce herself to him, but he was struggling to work his new BlackBerry. That was the moment she became convinced he'd make a hilarious Sheldon, and she was right. Her confidence in him didn't extend to the show itself. She didn't have a lot of faith in its first season. She even said it sucked in an interview with Jimmy Kimmel. Ratings and critical opinion were at their lowest in the beginning, but they eventually shot up. Kaley loves riding horses, but had an accident during a lesson. She fell off her horse, and it leaped over her. Her legs were crushed, and one of her feet almost had to be amputated. She was absent from 2 episodes of season 4 and hid behind the Cheesecake Factory bar when she did appear. She also has an affinity for another sport, tennis. She played at the regional level and reached number 54 in the girls under 14 ranking. She dated her co-star Johnny Galecki for about 2 years, while their character also became romantically interested in each other. They kept it secret to avoid affecting the show, but Kaley hated holding it in. They split up in 2010, but remained friends. She later married tennis player Ryan Sweeting. They met on the court, but only stayed together 2 years. She doesn't live with her current husband, Carl Cook, but they do have plans to build a house together in the future. Mayim Bialik's secrets. Mayim Bialik has been a force to be reckoned with in the sitcom world since she was a child. She played the lead in Malloy and Blossom, two major hits of the early 90s. The Big Bang Theory referenced her breakout role several times, even before she joined the cast. Rauch suggested, quote, the girl who played TV's Blossom as a replacement member for their physics bowl team in the first season episode The Bat Jar Conjecture. He knew she'd earned a PhD in neuroscience in 2008 and thought she'd be smart enough to help them win. Mayim officially began playing Amy Fowler in 2009 after the season 3 finale. She'd never seen the show before and still hasn't watched many episodes. Another reference to Blossom appeared in a 6th season episode where Sheldon and Amy decide Blossom and Joey would be the ideal couple's Halloween costumes for them. Mayim almost became a doctor after earning her PhD. Despite her intelligence, her grades were too low to go all the way. She decided to return to acting instead because it allowed her to spend more time with her children. Kaley wasn't the only Big Bang Theory actress to have a hidden injury during the show's run. Mayim got into a car accident in August of 2012. She had to hide her right hand with a glove in at least 5 episodes of the 6th season and appeared at an award ceremony in a bedazzled cast. She also has a hidden talent. The writers thought Amy was the type of character who would play the harp, and she learned to do it. Melissa Rauch's secrets. Melissa Rauch was once a waitress like her Big Bang Theory character Bernadette, working at a sports bar in New York. She later earned a BFA in acting and began her entertainment career as a host on the VH1 show Best Week Ever from 2004 to 2008. She was already a fan of the Big Bang Theory before joining the cast in 2009. She considers herself a nerd and was glad the show put underdog characters at the forefront. Bernadette's high-pitched voice and New Jersey accent may be memorable, but it's entirely Melissa's own creation. She based it on her mother, and it stuck when she brought it out at the audition. She also imitated Mrs. Wolowitz on occasion and based that impression on her father's screams. The voice wasn't the only thing Melissa didn't have in common with her character. She's a mild-mannered woman and had to be convinced a few times to be more assertive to match Bernadette's feisty personality. Melissa enjoyed her time on the show and admits she has a few favorite episodes. There was one where the characters went on a scavenger hunt. The cast couldn't stop laughing the entire time. There's also one where Bernadette enters a beauty pageant and she enjoyed having an excuse to puff out her hair. Melissa wasn't shy about her struggles with infertility. She had a miscarriage in 2017 that left her in a state of depression, but got pregnant again the same year. She had a son in 2017 and a daughter in 2020. Before we tell you more about the women of the Big Bang Theory, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Carol Ann Susi. Big Bang Theory viewers never saw Howard's mother, but she was still an essential character. The actress who played her, Carol Ann Susi, passed away in 2014. She was almost replaced by Pamela Adlon, but they decided to write the character off instead. Howard and Bernadette's children, Hallie and Neil, were also never seen on screen, but still heard, Pamela providing the sound of their cries. Showrunner Malaro and executive producer Steve Holland came up with the idea as a way to honor Carol. They were also glad it removed the potential problems with having babies on set. One final tribute was so small that even the most eagle-eyed viewers probably missed it. There's a picture of her on the side of Sheldon and Leonard's fridge that's barely visible in several episodes after her death. The original pilot. The women of the Big Bang Theory were almost entirely different characters. Fans wouldn't recognize them if they saw the show's unaired original pilot shown to CBS in 2006. The character that would eventually become Penny was first named Katie and played by Amanda Walsh. Test audiences disliked her because she seemed too mean, so she was eventually replaced. Both Raj and Howard weren't originally supposed to be in the show at all. Instead, there was a female character named Gilda who liked Leonard and had a history with Sheldon. The original pilot is one of the show's most closely guarded secrets, though you can find traces of it on YouTube. Pay disputes. Warner Brothers had to delay production of The Big Bang Theory in 2014 to renegotiate the cast's contracts. This was also the time when they renewed the series for 3 more seasons. Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, and Kaley Cuoco all had a salary of $1 million an episode by the end of the negotiations. They accepted the deal and would have had to have their characters written off the show otherwise. Mayim Bialik and Melissa Rauch joined the show later than the other main actors, and that meant lower salaries. They only earned $200,000 an episode. This led to conflict, especially between Kaley and Mayim, until a compromise was reached. The rest of the cast took a pay cut, setting them down to $900,000 an episode. and the remaining $450,000 would go to their co-stars' salaries. That decision changed the lives of everyone on set. In 2018, Jim Parsons was the highest-paid actor on TV, earning $26.5 million. Kaley Cuoco was the second highest-paid actress behind Sofia Vergara, bringing in $24.5 million. Mayim Bialik also earned an impressive $12 million. Other Big Bang Theory secrets. Christine Baranski and Mayim Bialik have earned more Emmy nominations for their work on The Big Bang Theory than any other cast members. Mayim earned 4 for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, and Christine earned 4 for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series. Not all the cast members of The Big Bang Theory are impressed by the work they've done and the accolades they've received on the show. Laurie Metcalf, who played Sheldon's mother Mary, prefers her first job as a secretary and says acting is impractical. Christine Baranski has 15 nominations but has lost 14 times in a row and claims she celebrates every time she doesn't win. There was one man who connected many of the women of The Big Bang Theory, Johnny Galecki. He was the ex-boyfriend of Sara and Kaley. He was Mayim's first kiss when they both worked on Blossom. Sara Gilbert played his girlfriend in Roxanne, and Laurie Metcalf played her aunt. Real romantic issues inspired a few of the show's plotlines. One of the writers' wives can't remember his birthday, so he had Penny and Leonard face the same problem. The show's writers took care in how they introduced their female characters. The first person they speak to is always their future significant other. This applies to every couple, including Penny and Leonard, Bernadette and Howard, and Amy and Sheldon. Kaley Cuoco was born November 30th, 1985 in Camarillo, California. She didn't come from an entertainment background, but took an interest in being center stage at an early age. She was initially a tennis player and was rather accomplished, playing the sport from her early childhood to her mid-teens. But at age 16, she lost interest and decided to pursue a career in acting. She got her first major role in the feature film Virtuosity in 1995. As a teen, she had roles in films and shows almost every year. Her notable films during her teen years include Picture Perfect, Toothless, Mr. Murder, Growing Up Brady, in which she played actress Maureen McCormick during her youth, Debating Robert Lee, and The Hollow. Her TV roles included work in shows like My So-Called Life, Northern Exposure, and The Nightmare Room. But perhaps the first role that brought her to widespread stardom was as Bridget Hennessy in 8 Simple Rules. In this role, she played one of the children to parents played by the late John Ritter and Katie Seagal. The show was a huge hit, and this was the role that could be stated as her breakthrough. However, as a child or teen actor or actress becomes an adult, they often struggle continuing their career. They often fade away and the public loses interest. However, Kaley wanted to ensure this wasn't her fate. She needed a role in a hit TV show that she could be in for several years. This role came in the form of Penny from Big Bang Theory, created by Chuck Lorre. In fact, this role was the first female lead in a CBS sitcom. But originally, Kaley had no interest in playing Penny. Her agent told her about the role, and she felt Penny would be a secondary and perhaps insignificant character, one that wouldn't show any promise. But as Chuck Lorre already had incredible success in TV, her agent told her it would probably become a series, and a big one at that. So she decided to give Penny a shot, and later was certainly grateful for being given the role. This was the breakthrough she needed for a successful acting career as an adult. And yet, Kaley is nothing like Penny from The Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory. Anyone who's watched The Big Bang Theory knows that Kaley Cuoco was the perfect actress for the role. But the character went through some interesting changes. In the original script for the pilot, Penny was named Katie. Katie was going to be played by actress Amanda Walsh. The character was meant to be a much more cruel and rude character with little to find appealing. But at a test screening, a group of selected viewers didn't like Katie at all. They found her too mean and felt the chemistry with the other characters just didn't work. Katie became Penny, and she was a much sweeter character, and Kaley Cuoco was ideal for the role. She stood up for her friends, but also knew how to stand up against them when needed. For example, she'd often challenge Sheldon and label him as a bully when he was condescending towards someone not as intelligent as he was. Looking back, one can't imagine what the show would have been like without Kaley in the role. She appeared for every season of 12 years, missing only a few episodes. However, despite the fact that she was grateful for the role, Kaley wasn't afraid to speak her mind on her disagreements with the show and characters. Towards the end of the show, Penny develops a relationship with Leonard, and eventually it's revealed she's pregnant. However, Kaley felt it would have been better if the character remained childless. The end of the show and the 12th season came as a surprise to much of the cast, and many wished they'd gotten advance notice. One wonders if the pregnancy was one way for the show's writers to end the series. Kaley has spoken out about how she wished it hadn't ended as it did, but it wasn't the end of the world.
Her revelations haven't been too controversial, and the cast and creators still get along with each other. And best of all, while Kaley is nothing like Penny, this was one of her favorite roles, and it's helped her continue her career. She has stated the character's likability is probably what made audiences resonate with her the most. She still enjoys discussing the character and the show, and recognizes it as some of her best work. No doubt the character of Penny in The Big Bang Theory will always be remembered as one of the best female leads in American sitcom history. Kaley Cuoco's career and life afterwards. Since completing her work on The Big Bang Theory in 2019, she's kept incredibly busy, and she's transitioned to the animated series Harley Quinn, in which she voices the title role. She's also appeared in an episode of Young Sheldon, a prequel to The Big Bang Theory, focusing on Sheldon's childhood. She appeared in a 2021 episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm called The Watermelon, but her main TV role right now is as Cassie Bowden in the mystery series The Flight Attendant. She plays a flight attendant who wakes up next to a dead body in her hotel room and begins to wonder if she was the killer. Such a smooth transition from a sitcom to a riveting thriller probably hasn't been seen in a long time, and she was nominated for several awards for her acting in the new show. She also serves as executive producer. She's kept busy in cinema too, and a mention should be made of some of her significant film work during The Big Bang Theory and after the show ended. She played Wanda in The Last Ride, a biopic of singer Hank Williams. She also starred in and was executive producer of the film Authors Anonymous. She's since appeared in one hit film after the next, including The Wedding Ringer, Burning Bodie, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Why Him, Handsome, in which she played herself, and Meet Cute, released in 2022. She's also slated to appear in a lead role alongside Bill Nighy in a thriller film called Role Play. She was previously married to tennis player Ryan Sweeting from 2013 until their divorce in 2015. In 2018, she married Carl Cook, and they remained married until their divorce in June of 2022. Since that time, she's been dating actor Tom Pelphrey, and she's expecting a child with him. She continues to act regularly in film and TV, and often makes public appearances at events, award ceremonies, and conventions. While she's now being recognized for her TV role in The Flight Attendant and in the feature film Meet Cute, fans still adore her for her role as Penny in The Big Bang Theory. One wonders if we'll ever see reunion shows and spin-offs in which Kaley will reprise her role as Penny. Sheldon's middle name confusion. In the earlier seasons of The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon Cooper adamantly claims he does not have a middle name. But this assertion contradicts later episodes where his middle name is revealed to be Lee. This inconsistency puzzled many viewers, as it seemed like an oversight in the show's continuity. The revelation of Sheldon's middle name came as a surprise to fans who had initially believed his initial assertion. Leonard's father's profession. Another notable blooper in The Big Bang Theory concerns Leonard's father's profession. In an early episode, Leonard mentions that his father is an anthropologist, but in a later season, his mother refers to his father as a psychologist. This inconsistency created confusion among fans who wondered which profession Leonard's father actually had. Sheldon's swimming skills. Sheldon Cooper's swimming abilities also sparked debate among fans due to conflicting portrayals in different episodes. In one episode, Sheldon mentions he can't swim, expressing fear and discomfort around bodies of water. But in a later episode, he is depicted confidently swimming in a pool during a scene without any apparent difficulty. This inconsistency in Sheldon's behavior left some viewers scratching their heads, questioning whether it was a continuity error or a deliberate attempt at humor. Regardless, it remains a notable blooper in the series. The ever-changing apartment layout. Throughout The Big Bang Theory, the layout of the main character's apartment undergoes noticeable changes from episode to episode. Furniture and decorations appear in different positions and may even disappear entirely between shots, leading to inconsistencies in the apartment's appearance. This inconsistency became a source of amusement and frustration for fans who enjoyed scrutinizing the details of the show's set design. While minor discrepancies in set continuity are common in television production, the apartment's ever-changing layout became a recurring blooper fans couldn't help but notice. Howard's peanut allergy. Another notable blooper involves Howard's supposed peanut allergy. In one episode, he mentions he's allergic to peanuts, a fact that is portrayed as significant when he's advised to avoid a dish containing peanuts. But in a later episode, he's seen eating peanut butter without any apparent allergic reaction. This inconsistency puzzled people, and fans wondered whether it was a continuity error or a deliberate oversight by the writers. Sheldon's sibling confusion. Sheldon Cooper's family background also provided fodder for bloopers and inconsistency. In one episode, Sheldon mentions having a sister, implying he grew up with at least one sibling. However, in later episodes, it's revealed Sheldon actually has a brother named George Jr. Such inconsistencies in character backgrounds can sometimes arise in long-running TV shows where details may evolve or change over time, leading to discrepancies that only attentive viewers will notice. Character age and timeline. The Big Bang Theory also faced scrutiny over inconsistencies in character ages and timelines. For example, the age at which Sheldon Cooper received his PhD fluctuates throughout the series, with different episodes providing conflicting information. And details about characters' past experiences, educational backgrounds, and career trajectories sometimes varied between episodes, leading to confusion among fans trying to piece together the timeline of events within the show's universe. Mirror reflections. The Big Bang Theory also had some bloopers in mirror reflections. In several scenes throughout the series, keen-eyed viewers noticed that the reflections shown in mirrors did not always match the actual positioning of characters or objects in the room. This discrepancy could occur due to technical limitations during filming or errors in post-production editing. While these inconsistencies are pretty minor, they can momentarily disrupt the immersion of viewers who catch them. Inconsistencies in character knowledge. Throughout its run, The Big Bang Theory faced criticism for inconsistencies in the characters' knowledge and interests. While the show initially established clear distinctions between the geeky pursuits of characters like Sheldon, Leonard, and Howard, and the more mainstream interests of characters like Penny, these lines sometimes blurred as the series progressed. In some episodes, Penny displayed a lack of understanding or interest in geek culture, while in others, she demonstrated surprising familiarity with comic books, video games, and science fiction. And characters like Sheldon occasionally exhibited expertise or ignorance inconsistent with his personality. Let's continue with some behind-the-scenes and fun facts about the show. Hidden references and whiteboards. A hallmark of The Big Bang Theory was the presence of complex equations and scientific references hidden in the background of scenes, particularly on the whiteboards in Sheldon and Leonard's apartment. These equations were not merely random scribbles, but were carefully chosen to reflect the characters' interests and the themes of each episode. Fans with a keen eye for detail could pause the show to analyze the equations, some of which were contributed by David Saltzberg himself. Soft Kitty and Bill Prady's inspiration. One of the show's most beloved recurring elements is the song Soft Kitty, which is sung by various characters to comfort Sheldon when he's sick or upset. The origins of the heartwarming lullaby can be traced back to Bill Prady, one of the show's co-creators. Prady revealed that Soft Kitty was inspired by a song that he sang to his own daughter when she was feeling unwell. The song's inclusion in the show has resonated with audiences who were touched by the simple yet comforting lyrics. Kaley Cuoco's injury. In the fourth season, Kaley, who played Penny, suffered a horseback riding accident that led to a broken leg. Rather than writing her injury off-screen or using stand-ins, the show's writers chose to incorporate Cuoco's real-life injury into the storyline. This creative decision not only provided a plausible explanation for Penny's absence from certain scenes, but also allowed Cuoco to continue filming without the need for extensive modification to the production schedule. Stephen Hawking's guest appearance. Renowned physicist Stephen Hawking made several memorable guest appearances on The Big Bang Theory. Despite his physical limitations due to ALS, Hawking was able to deliver his lines with the aid of a computerized voice synthesizer. His appearances on the show, where he played himself, were highly anticipated by fans and garnered widespread acclaim. His willingness to participate in the series, coupled with his sharp wit and sense of humor, contributed to the show's authenticity and elevated its status within the scientific community. Mayim Bialik's academic background. Mayim, who played Amy Farrah Fowler, brought a unique level of authenticity to her character due to her own academic background. In real life, Bialik holds a PhD in neuroscience from UCLA. Her expertise in neuroscience provided valuable insight into her character's scientific interests and personality traits. Melissa's characters. Melissa Rauch brought a unique and memorable voice to her character, Bernadette Rostenkowski, on the show. What many fans may not know is that both Bernadette's voice and the voice of Howard Wolowitz's unseen mother, Mrs. Wolowitz, were based on Melissa's own parents. She drew inspiration from her mother's high-pitched and sweet voice for Bernadette's character, creating the iconic vocal tone that became synonymous with the character. Additionally, Melissa used her father's deep, booming voice as a reference for Mrs. Wolowitz. This creative decision not only added depth to the characters, but also served as a loving tribute to her parents. Kaley's payday. Kaley Cuoco's tremendous success in Hollywood was further underscored by her impressive earnings, as she held the title of the second highest paid actress in the industry. Building on her iconic role as Penny, she solidified her status as one of the most sought-after talents in television. Kaley's versatility, coupled with her knack for comedy and drama, made her a top choice for various projects, including her role in The Flight Attendant. Her remarkable career trajectory and substantial income not only reflect her talent, but also highlight the evolving nature of paying women what they deserve. Mrs. Wolowitz. The character of Mrs. Wolowitz, Howard's unseen and often heard mother on the show, met a poignant end as a result of the real-life passing of actress Carol Ann Susi. Carol Ann provided the iconic grating voice for Mrs. Wolowitz throughout the series. When she passed away in 2014, the show's creators and writers chose to address her absence in a touching way. They revealed in the series that Mrs. Wolowitz had also passed away, allowing the characters and viewers to mourn her off-screen alongside the real-life loss of Carol Ann Susi. This heartfelt tribute to both the character and the actress who portrayed her showcased the deep respect and affection the cast and crew had for Carol Ann Susi. Charmed. Before her iconic role as Penny on The Big Bang Theory, Kaley Cuoco was slated to headline a Charmed spin-off series. She had been cast as Billy Jenkins, a young witch with unique powers, in the show's 8th season. While the spin-off was ultimately not picked up, Kaley's involvement in the Charmed universe showcased her versatility as an actress even before she became a household name on The Big Bang Theory. Her transition from one potential series to another real one marked a turning point in her career, leading to her incredible success in television comedy. Life balance. Mayim Bialik's decision to return to acting was driven by her desire to have more time with her children. After taking a break from her acting career to focus on raising her 2 sons, she found a unique opportunity with The Big Bang Theory. The show's shooting schedule allowed her to maintain a balance between her professional commitments and her role as a mother. This decision not only allowed Mayim to pursue her passion for acting, but enabled her to spend quality time with her children, emphasizing the importance of work-life balance for many parents in the entertainment industry. Her successful return to television as Amy Farrah Fowler showcased her talent and dedication to both her family and her craft. Harley Quinn. Kaley Cuoco and Melissa Rauch both made their mark as the voice of Harley Quinn in animated series. Kaley lent her voice to the character in the animated series, Harley Quinn, which marked a significant departure from her role as Penny. Her portrayal of Harley Quinn in the show's darkly comedic and irreverent style was widely praised. On the other hand, Melissa Rauch also had the opportunity to voice Harley in the animated film Batman and Harley Quinn. Both actresses brought their unique talents and comedic timing to the iconic character, adding their own distinct flair to Harley's personality. Kaley's decision. Kaley's decision to return to shows after the success of The Big Bang Theory was largely influenced by her desire for a better work-life balance. Having spent 12 years working on The Big Bang Theory, she recognized the importance of finding roles that allowed her to maintain a healthy equilibrium between her professional and personal life. Her return to acting with The Flight Attendant and other projects was a conscious choice to pursue roles that aligned with her lifestyle preferences. Dating Johnny. The romantic connections among the cast members of The Big Bang Theory added an interesting layer to the show's dynamic. Kaley Cuoco and Sara Gilbert both dated Johnny Galecki at different points in their lives, creating a unique bond among the actors. Kaley, who played Penny, dated Johnny Galecki during the early seasons of the show before an amicable breakup. Sara Gilbert, who made guest appearances on the show as Leslie Winkle, also had a relationship with Johnny Galecki in the past. Additionally, it's worth noting that Johnny, who played Leonard Hofstadter, shared an intriguing connection with Mayim Bialik, who played Amy Farrah Fowler. They revealed on the set of the show that Mayim was Johnny's first on-screen kiss, adding another layer of trivia to the show's behind-the-scenes history. These off-screen relationships and connections among the cast members added to the complexity and chemistry of the show's characters. Emmy nods. Christine Baranski and Mayim Bialik hold the distinction of having the most Emmy nomination among actresses for their roles on The Big Bang Theory. Christine Baranski, known for her portrayal of Leonard's mother, Beverly, garnered numerous Emmy nominations for her guest appearances on the show. Her impeccable comedic timing and memorable interactions with the cast members contributed to her recognition in the comedy category. On the other hand, Mayim Bialik received several Emmy nominations in the supporting actress category for her outstanding performance as a neurobiologist with a unique personality. Their combined nominations underscore their exceptional contributions to the show's success and their ability to stand out in a cast filled with talented actors. Kaley's injury. Kaley Cuoco's love for horse riding, while a passion she pursued alongside her acting career, also brought about an unfortunate incident that temporarily sidelined her from The Big Bang Theory. In a horse riding accident, she suffered a broken leg, which necessitated her absence from the show for a brief period. This unexpected setback posed a challenge for the production, but the creative team skillfully worked around her absence, incorporating storylines that explained her character Penny's absence during that time. Kaley's determination was evident as she managed to recover and return to the show, highlighting her commitment to both her equestrian pursuits and responsibilities on the series. Mayim referenced. A clever reference to Mayim Bialik was made on The Big Bang Theory before she even joined the cast. In the show's third season, during a conversation between Sheldon and Penny, Penny mentions an article about the discovery of a new subatomic particle called the Boson-Cola particle. This was a playful nod to Mayim's character Amy Farrah Fowler, who would later become a significant part of the series. Cuoco and Galecki fell in love. In the show, Cuoco and Galecki's characters, Penny and Leonard, ultimately ended up getting married. It's later revealed they had at least one child together as well. The actors, of course, never got married, nor did they have children. Even so, they did date exclusively for the better part of 2 years between 2008 and 2010. It's safe to say that much of the authenticity that audiences saw in their on-screen relationship was inspired by the mutual respect and love that Cuoco and Galecki shared in real life. Even after their off-screen romance ended, their professional commitments, coupled with a few lines of well-written TV dialogue, helped them heal from the breakup. The two stars developed a solid friendship that still runs deep. In many ways, it's this love story that supersedes anything we saw in the show. It's been more than 3 years since Big Bang's production wrapped, but Cuoco and Galecki are closer than they've ever been. Cuoco's complicated love life. In October 2011, Cuoco got engaged to addiction specialist Josh Resnick, but the two broke off their engagement less than 6 months later. Cuoco then became engaged to pro tennis player Ryan Sweeting in September of 2013 after dating for 3 months. The couple got married in December of 2013 in Santa Susana, California. In September of 2015, Cuoco announced that she and Sweeting had made the difficult decision to divorce. In late 2016, Cuoco started dating equestrian Carl Cook. The two got engaged on November 30th, 2017, which happened to be Cuoco's 32nd birthday. They got married June 30th, 2018. 3 years later, in 2021, Cuoco and Cook announced their separation. They further revealed they were going their separate ways after realizing their current paths had taken them in opposite directions. In June of 2022, their divorce was finalized. Since 2022, Cuoco has been dating soap opera actor Tom Pelphrey, best known for playing the parts of Jonathan Randall and Mick Dante in the long-time-running series Guiding Light and As the World Turns. Johnny Galecki, the king of hookup. Galecki has dated and hooked up with countless famous women.
But before we tell you more about that, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. In 2018, Galecki began dating Elena Meyer, who is 22 years younger than he is. Elena works as a fabricator manager and is the daughter of former U.S. Army Special Forces member, Vietnam veteran, and author of several books detailing his military experience, John Stryker Meyer. Meyer and Galecki broke up in 2020. From 2015 to 2016, he dated model Ariella Nicole. Before that, he dated singer-songwriter Katie Wiesel in 2014. The two were spotted together at the Chateau Marmont Hotel in Hollywood not long after Wiesel finished 7th in the 7th season of The X Factor. From September 2011 to August 2014, Galecki and actress Kelly Gardner dated. Gardner's best known for her roles in films such as Bully, The Aviator, Thumbsucker, Lars and the Real Girl, and Horns. From 2010 to 2011, Galecki dated a woman who's only known as Laura F. Before dating Laura, Galecki dated Kaley Cuoco from October 2007 to February of 2010. In the summer of 2007, Johnny and actress Kelsey Harper enjoyed a brief fling. Kaley Cuoco wasn't the only co-star that Galecki has dated. In 2006, he and his The Little Dog Laughed co-star Ari Grainer were involved in a romantic relationship. Grainer has appeared in TV shows such as The Sopranos and Fringe. She also starred as Meredith Davis in the short-lived CBS sitcom Bad Teacher. Galecki dated yet another one of his former co-stars, Laura Harris, from 1996 to 98. The two both appeared in the film Murder at My Door. From 92 to 93, Galecki briefly dated his Roseanne co-star Sara Gilbert, although they weren't exactly compatible. Sara Gilbert realized she was gay while dating Galecki. On the sitcom Roseanne, Galecki and Gilbert portrayed a young couple who eventually got married. In recent years, Gilbert has been open about her sexuality, but early on she wasn't quite as comfortable telling everyone about who she truly is. Fortunately, Johnny helped change that. While starring together in the iconic 90s sitcom, Galecki and Gilbert started dating. At first, Gilbert found Galecki to be very cute and couldn't help but develop a massive crush on him. But once they started dating and spending time together, she began to realize he wasn't exactly her type. Every time they'd make out, she would find herself depressed and confused afterwards. Initially, Johnny took it personally and wondered if he was doing something wrong. In time, Gilbert worked up the courage to tell him what was going on inside her. The truth was, as much as she liked him, she just wasn't attracted to men. When Gilbert opened up and told Galecki she was gay, he was fortunately very sweet about it and offered to continue supporting her in any way he could. In fact, years later, when Gilbert finally came out and revealed the truth about her sexuality while on the daytime talk show The Talk, he offered to come out and be by her side, holding her hand. They remain close friends to this day. Gilbert went on to date TV producer Ali Adler. The two have 2 children together, a son named Levi Hank and a daughter named Sawyer Jane. In August of 2011, Gilbert announced that she and Ali had separated on amicable terms. After that, Gilbert began dating singer-songwriter, producer, and former frontwoman for 4 Non-Blondes, Linda Perry. In 2013, Gilbert announced that she and Perry were engaged, and the pair tied the knot on March 30th, 2014. They have 1 child together, a son named Rhodes Emilio Gilbert Perry, born in 2016. In late 2019, Gilbert filed for legal separation from Linda, but the two remain on good terms. While the Big Bang actors who played Bernadette and Howard aren't actually married with an adorable baby in real life, and the actors who played Amy and Sheldon never got around to getting married either, there's no need to feel disappointed. The stars of The Big Bang Theory have all found real boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, and husbands. Mayim Bialik, the actress who played Amy, got married to a man named Michael Stone in 2003. They had 2 children together before divorcing in 2013. Jim Parsons married his longtime boyfriend in 2017, art director Todd Spiewak. Simon Helberg, best known for playing Howard Wolowitz, married his wife Jocelyn Town in 2007. Kunal Nayyar got married to his beloved wife Neha Kapoor in 2011. Melissa Rauch married writer Wynton Rauch in 2007. In December of 2017, she gave birth to a girl named Sadie. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know that Johnny Galecki and Kaley Cuoco dated for 2 years while co-starring in The Big Bang Theory? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. The fascinating history of Soft Kitty. If you've ever wondered why the song Soft Kitty holds such a special place in the universe of The Big Bang Theory, the answer lies in its prequel, Young Sheldon. The simple yet soothing lullaby has its roots in Sheldon's childhood, setting up an emotional link that resonates with fans across both series. In The Big Bang Theory, it's Penny who takes up the task of singing Soft Kitty to a sick Sheldon, making viewers wonder why this particular tune has the power to calm him. Enter Young Sheldon, where we get to witness the song's origin story. When Sheldon comes down with the flu as a child, it's his mother Mary who sings Soft Kitty to him for the first time. The moment isn't just about a song, it's a glimpse into the early nurturing Sheldon received from his mom. Mary is clearly a cornerstone of his emotional world, and Soft Kitty becomes a symbol of that motherly love and care. The tune isn't just a catchy little melody either. It's a ritual, a piece of Sheldon's past that brings comfort and a sense of home whenever he hears it. The start of relationship contracts. In an episode called Vanilla Ice Cream, Gentleman Callers, and a Dinette Set, young Sheldon takes his knack for detailed contracts to another level. This time, he creates his first relationship agreement for his grandma, Connie, and her boyfriend, Dr. Sturgis. It's a funny yet sweet introduction to Sheldon's love for guidelines, something that becomes a running theme with his relationships in The Big Bang Theory, especially with Amy. Sheldon's fascination with Professor Proton. Sheldon's unrelenting admiration for Professor Proton is something fans find both entertaining and touching. While the character appears in multiple episodes of The Big Bang Theory, we get to see a younger Sheldon's obsession with Professor Proton's educational show in Young Sheldon. His enthusiasm for the show often causes family arguments, and we also see a poster of Professor Proton hanging in his bedroom. The famous catchphrase Bazinga. Did you ever wonder where Sheldon's iconic catchphrase Bazinga came from? Well, young Sheldon has you covered. After being teased by his sister Missy and her friend Paige, Sheldon decides to buy some joke pranks from a brand named Bazinga, adopting the name as his own catchphrase. The Nobel Prize connection. One of the most significant links between the two shows comes in the form of the Nobel Prize. In the finale of The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and Amy win a Nobel Prize in physics. This major life event is beautifully paralleled in Young Sheldon, when a younger Sheldon hosts a Nobel Prize listening party, even though no one shows up. The voiceover reveals that while Sheldon feels alone at the moment, he knows he'll be surrounded by friends in the future. The Caltech Cafeteria. Both shows feature Caltech, the prestigious research university where adult Sheldon and his friends work. In a particular episode of Young Sheldon, he and his dad visit Caltech and gaze into the cafeteria where he will one day sit with Leonard, Rauch, and Howard. It's a glimpse into the future that provides a moment of reflection for both Sheldon and the audience. Schedules and bathroom timing. Remember the well-documented bathroom schedule that caused so many laughs and eye rolls in The Big Bang Theory? It turns out Sheldon's obsession with timing also applies to bathroom usage in his younger years. In Young Sheldon, a trip to watch a spaceship launch turns into a heartwarming moment when George shows he knows Sheldon's bathroom schedule by heart. A hot beverage to comfort. Another lovable quality of Lil Sheldon is his attempt to offer hot beverages to those in distress. Young Sheldon shows us the origin of this practice when he offers a cup of tea to his friend Paige, who is upset over her parents' divorce. George's imminent fate. In The Big Bang Theory, it's mentioned that Sheldon's father passed away when Sheldon was just 14. While George is still alive in the current seasons of Young Sheldon, the audience knows what's coming, adding an extra layer of depth to their interactions. The future of Sheldon and Amy. Here's another one you might have missed. The show gives us a glimpse into Sheldon and Amy's future. In an episode where adult Sheldon reflects on his high school graduation, he mentions that the only party better was his son Leonard's. It's a small but impactful hint that tells us about the lasting love between Sheldon and Amy, as well as the future of their family. Bird phobia. It's a thing. Birds? Nope, not for Sheldon. The fear is so strong that he misidentifies a bird in The Big Bang Theory. Young Sheldon has a run-in with a chicken, and let's just say it didn't go well. Fears like this make Sheldon relatable, right? Who hasn't seen Hitchcock's The Birds and developed a little aversion to our avian friends? Geology, also not for Sheldon. Sheldon has a clear dislike for anything that isn't physics. He calls geology the Kardashian of science in The Big Bang Theory. But it wasn't always that way. Young Sheldon liked geology until a crush broke his heart. The Wil Wheaton saga. Wil Wheaton is more than just an actor or a guy on a magazine cover. He's a name that rings bells in the world of Sheldon Cooper. In The Big Bang Theory, Wheaton is the perfect rival to Sheldon. You might think their feud is all about Will failing to show up at a 1995 sci-fi convention in Jackson, Mississippi. But there's more to it than meets the eye. Young Sheldon lets us in on another layer of this complex relationship. In Young Sheldon, Sheldon's twin sister Missy plays an unexpected role in the animosity. She holds a magazine featuring Wil Wheaton and calls him cute. But when Sheldon invites her to watch Star Trek together, she suddenly changes her tune, saying Will isn't cute after all. This comment stings Sheldon, adding another level to why he doesn't like Wil Wheaton. It's not just about the snub at the convention, it's also tied to the opinions of someone very close to him, his twin sister. In other words, it's not just a professional grievance that Sheldon holds against Wil Wheaton. It's personal, it's deeply rooted, and it involves family dynamics. The remarkable casting of Mary Cooper. One of the standout features of Young Sheldon is the uncanny casting. Zoe Perry, who is the real-life daughter of Laurie Metcalf, plays Young Sheldon's mom, Mary Cooper. Laurie Metcalf herself portrayed Sheldon's mother in The Big Bang Theory. The family resemblance isn't just physical, it extends to voice, demeanor, and the very essence of the character. The casting choice serves as a seamless bridge between the two shows and helps reinforce the sense of continuity for dedicated fans. The story behind Sheldon's dad, George Cooper. In The Big Bang Theory, Leonard's high school bully, Jimmy Speckerman, was played by Lance Barber. In a neat twist, Barber also portrays Sheldon's father, George Cooper, in Young Sheldon. George is an interesting character with a lot of depth. From having a minor heart attack to showing signs of living on borrowed time, the show doesn't shy away from highlighting the darker aspects of his life, which adds layers to both series. Now it's time to hear from you. Which one of these facts was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.